Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be looking at a pre-owned Lexus GX 460. This is one of the smartest, best buys that you can make in the used car market. Super reliable, and the pricing, it ain't bad. We'll talk about it in today's video. Before we get into this video, huge shout out and thank you to the Southtown Mazda for giving me some time with this GX. Link to their website in the description down below. Link to my car buying guide as well. Let's get into it. Powering this is a 4.6 liter V8 that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. It puts out 301 horsepower and then 329 pound-feet of torque. So super reliable powertrain, not stressed out whatsoever. And well, that's a recipe for success. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, really cool with the body lines, and then I've always been a fan of the headlights here on the GX 460. I think they look pretty sharp. See the turn signal indicators down below with the fog lights, and look at that grille, super complex. But yeah, overall, good looking. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 265 by 55 by 19 in the front and over in the rear. You can fit 18-inch wheels with this, a little bit more sidewall on the tires, and there is so much aftermarket support for this because it's a Land Cruiser Prado, right? So there's a lot of lift kits and shocks and other stuff that you can add to this to make it more off-road capable if that's your cup of tea. But anyways, here's your side profile with it. Now these taillights do date the GX 460 a little bit, but it's not too bad if you ask me. Now this had the cool window setup. You can open that up like what you have in the new Land Cruiser, but unlike the Land Cruiser, which I don't know why it just locked itself. Toyotas, man, let me tell you. This has a swing gate, kind of like a G-Wagon, right? That's pretty cool. But yeah, super spacious. You can get these with third rows. This particular one has the third row, it looks like, which is always a nice feature. You can have it as storage if you want. You got that for the seats there. Pretty cool. But yeah, very, very practical with the space. And again, the back end looks a little bit dated, but it ain't bad. And then popping into the second row, you can see you've got like nice trim throughout. High quality stuff, super durable, can last a long time. That's kind of how they built it out. Look at those seats. Captain chairs in this one. And getting in's easy. You've got good legroom back here. You got a little storage pocket. That's nice, the trim. See with the climate controls to the rear, heated seats as well. And then we got vents up top. It's got this nice premium headliner too. And then up front, the magic of soft text continues. I guess we'll call it. This has memory seats. You can see all the window controls, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. It is a truck, so 13-15 for the payload, so pretty solid payload capacity. You got a nice trim on the front seats. Your power adjustments on the side. You can see with the mirror adjustment, all of that. And then pop it on. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Solid door handle there. And then I like this trim here, and then how it goes to the wood on the steering wheel. I think that's really nice. You do have some funky stuff like the turn signal, the cruise control stock rather, but then you still have more stocks. It's got 3 stocks in the back. Mostly analog gauge cluster. You can see this one's got just under 40,000 miles on it. Got just a backup camera in reverse. But yeah, simple infotainment system, right? Not the fanciest, most modern thing, but easy enough to use. Same thing with the climate controls. And I like how you've got these like big chunky buttons for the climate. And then you got your heated and cooled seat controls down below as well. And then this is pretty cool for the shifter. And you can see we've got hill descent control, 2-speed transfer case with this. Some cup holders. And then with the center console here. Sorry, there we go. I was pulling the wrong tab. I always forget this has the extension thing, which is kind of weird. But yeah, just generally speaking, nice interior. See with the camera, or sorry, with the rear view mirror. And then got the sunroof here. And yeah, like I said, 38,000 miles. This one's going for like $42,000 roughly. So with the Lexus product, they tend to take a bigger hit initially compared to the Toyotas. So that's definitely in your favor because you're getting a Land Cruiser Prado, but we never had that in the US market, or I shouldn't say we didn't have that until with the new Land Cruiser. So I don't know, you're getting a lot of car for the money, in my opinion. We'll drive it, we'll talk about it. Well, before we set off, I want to mention center locking differential. Forgot to show that in the walk around. So it basically has all the same stuff as a full-size Land Cruiser, which I currently own, but at a much more affordable price point. I mean, you know, the LX 570 or a, you know, Land Cruiser at this year, you know, 2021, like what this one is. Yeah, this one's a 21. I mean, you're looking at 70 to 80, depending on miles and all of that. Similar miles to this, you're probably looking at in the 70s. So $30,000 less money. Let's see if it drives like it's $30,000 less money, right? I think this video might save quite a few of you quite a bit of money. First off, what I'll say is the seats in this are really comfortable, really nice setup, and yeah, the space in here and everything is good. So it's not that much smaller than the Land Cruiser. That's the thing about the Toyota SUVs, is there is a size difference with them, but they're all pretty close in size. And when it comes to the engine performance, the 5.7 V8 is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, I love my 5.7 with the 8-speed, but this 4.6 with the 6-speed, it's got good low-end grunt. You know, on the top end, yeah, it's going to be lacking a little bit. That is a cool car. It's a SWAT vehicle, it looks like. Oh. Anyways, yeah, a little bit lacking compared to the 5.7 on the top end, but you know, I'm okay with a little bit less power for $30,000 less money, right? It's not bad. I will say this revs up. It gears down and seems to rev up a little bit faster than the 5.7. So I imagine it's definitely slower, but it's not as much as you might think, given how that 5.7 is tuned and everything. But you can always put the 5.7 in ECT power and then things get real crazy, so there is that. Now the next thing with this that I really like is the sound. V8. The suspension is really comfortable. This is nice and comfy, just like the, you know, Land Cruiser and the LX 570. It's still body on frame, still solid rear axle, so you still have those elements that affect the driving dynamics, but overall it's a luxury car with the ride. And it's quiet too. You know, you get a little bit of wind noise here and there, but it's not bad. And just like the Land Cruiser, when you're just driving around, just kind of lightly get into it. And the V8's got some pretty decent low-end torque. Again, 329 pound-feet, not insane, but it's enough. We're not race car drivers, right? Just driving around town and on the highway. So, putting it all together, the GX 460, I think a lot of people are going to be trading this in because they're so hyped up about the new GX 550, and I completely understand that. Good looking car, you know, the powertrain it's quick and all that. But I think ultimately the 460 is going to be the one that people seek long term because of the reliability. It's gonna be the same thing with the 4Runner. You know, the old 4Runner, right, with the 4.0 V6. Yeah, not as quick as the new one that's got that hybrid, or you can get it with just the turbo 4-cylinder, but hybrid turbo 4-cylinder as well. Those are fun, those are fast, but they aren't going to be as reliable. And I think you're going to see the same thing with this versus the new GX 550. This is going to be a lot less to maintain over the long term, and the engine's going to be more reliable. You're going to be able to get more miles out of it. So yeah, long term, it's just going to be a better buy. And so, you know, I think the best thing to do is just to be honest with yourself with how long you're going to keep a car for. I think a lot of people can get hyped up about a car's reliability and buy it and saying, oh, I'm going to keep this for the next 10 years, and then 2 years later they're trading it in. But you know, if you really are a person that's going to keep a car for a while, this is one of them. Definitely one of them. And I find it funny, this is actually parked next to the Defender, which Land Rover is not known for their longevity. And that's the thing that's funny is, so that Defender here, this really shows you that Defender, I think, is also a 21. It might be a 2020. It's a 2020 or 2021, one of the two. And that Defender, brand new, would have been about, with everything it has, $80,000 roughly. This brand new would have been, I mean, I think like 60 something, maybe. They're about the same price. Really. This vendor's a little bit more, but they're pretty much the same price. So it just shows you like Lexus resale value. Again, it takes a bigger hit than the Toyotas, that's for sure. But still, I mean, long-term resale value on this is going to be strong, and that's because of the, you know, people are willing to pay more for something like this versus that used, because that, right, who knows, you got the computers, you got all that crazy stuff going on, whereas this, simplistic, naturally aspirated, V8, underpowered, which is not a bad thing, right? It's not stressed out, paired with a lot of, you know, it's got some new school tech, but mostly old school tech. So yeah, you put it all together and it's something that's just gonna last. Let me think about the 460, but I think if you're looking for like an off-road Toyota that's gonna last a long time, this and the 4Runner are both really good choices. I do think the 460 doesn't get enough love compared to the 4Runner. Like, people will pay, you know, for a 21 4Runner TRD Pro with this amount of miles, people pay 50 grand for one of those. And this is, if you know, you just have to add some off-road tires to it, it's pretty much just as capable as a TRD Pro 4Runner off-road, and you get a much better engine. This is way better than the 4.0, because, you know, the V8 power and everything. This doesn't, the 4Runner's not bad, but this doesn't feel quite as underpowered on the highway and all that kind of stuff. And it's less money. It's crazy. It's the price you pay for having the Lexus grill, and I think if you're willing to rock the Lexus grill, it's worth it.